Greetings, everybody. You'll actually notice that right off the bat of the start of this game, I am in a different setting, and I'm actually wearing my macro shirt from the last two games that I did for this series of Lalush versus BratOK. And you also notice there's a time difference. Basically, right now, I just got caught with the whole moving out of my college and then going into my brother's graduation from him just graduating from college. Just kind of like a weird time. So basically you have to do the 4th and 5th games, if there are those. Not trying to spoil anything or anything from at some point. But essentially right now we're going to be watching game number 3 of Lalush. These are going to top right, going up against roxkisBratOK, the Terran in the bottom left, and the map is actually a cool map. It's ESL's versions of iCCup Neo Enigma, which is a cool map itself. But basically, right now, I am really just caught sort of half off guard, and actually more than half off guard. I am quite off guard. But notice I've got artwork behind me, which I hope you actually see. I can't really tell, but essentially, I draw a little bit, so I just put those back up here and try to actually have like a formal setup for how I'm going to approach this summer with casting and try to do that a bunch. So hopefully you like the look of this. Trying to be a little more official instead of just being like a ragtag person that likes to just cast. So this should be fun when we watch this game, as Lalush is kind of down 0-2 right now, which is rather unfortunate for him. But this should be cool to see what he's doing. Right now we're actually going to watch him doing a hatchery first build. Like there's a hatchery at the natural expansion, which you notice does actually have the normal 8 mineral patches and 2 geysers. So not doing anything weird with the minerals there, but you also have a weird possible gold third if you want to have it out in the open. Or you can go for the backdoor third base, which is down here, but this only has 7 as opposed to 8 mineral patches of a normal base. So it really could benefit you if you actually want to take these 5 gold patches here at your third, if that's what you want to approach. Actually, here a waterfall. There's this waterfall. There's a waterfall. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, hello, waterfall. How do I actually zoom in on you? There we go. There's a waterfall, guys, for you if you want to check that out. So, yep. That's immediately cool. So now, looking back here, what is BratOK doing? We do have the first barracks done. We've got refineries, now mined 100 gas. We could actually be seeing a factory coming out of BratOK at any moment if he wants to go for that techie path. And there it is. So we are seeing the first factory go out for BratOK. He does not have a full wall. So he could just lift off his barracks and complete the wall if he wants to, but then you have to fill off that little hole. Might go for fast expansion off the Hellions, which would be a great move on his part, which we'll see if he's going to be doing. Right now, he's already in the commanding lead. He has basically freedom to do whatever he wants. So Lalush right now is going to try macro play very, very safe, and he's got actually that's he running around in his entire base, but notice no gas yet for Lalush, and just to say that he actually throws down his gas. I'm getting a phone call for us, so let's go ahead and just pause this. Hello? I hope I remember to edit that out. I think I just got spammed. Anyway, so now extractor there. So just as I said, there's no gas coming from Lalush. There actually is gas coming from Lalush. So then we're gonna see. I haven't traveled a lot last couple of days. I live a long way off from college, and driving there is unfortunate. But Lalush is going to start working on being able to get his Zergling speed when he wants it. Right now we're watching over here as BratOK does actually end up throwing down an expansion of his own. So he is going for a fast expand, and it is off the Hellions. So we are seeing that there are 4 Marines out, with 1 Zerg going to run around and get a scout on this Hellion moving in. Actually, maybe not. Oh, no. BratOK can go ahead and actually reveal the Hellion with killing the Zergling. So there it is. So we're going to go ahead and fall before it sees anything. So reactor and tech lab. So we're actually going to see tech lab. So tech lab from BratOK. Interesting. Looks like he wants to get the marine upgrades down there. But now he's got these 4 marines. Could go ahead and scan and take out the scoop drone. But this fire crawler should be more than enough to defend this choke from Lalush, as this ramp is going to make this a very defendable expansion. But he does have to worry about these destructible rocks back here, which could be attacked And then Braddock would have an easy way to run Hellions into the main, but the sea Lalush does have a good overlord spread, going to be able to see all of this, if he really wants to. So Braddock going ahead and actually just passing by the Blue Flame Xel'Naga Tower. Interesting. So just cool a little bit with that Xel'Naga Tower having it be blue. It's kind of a nice thing. So now Lalush just have a good overlord spread. We can run around and see that he is in a very good spot in terms of scouting. He knows about the space and everything, so he is actually in a fairly commanding position in terms of knowledge. While if we try and see what Braddock is actually seeing, we'll see he's a knock in the third. He knows there's an expansion and a spawn crawler. That's it. Nothing else since the beginning of the game. Excuse me, I'm also a little bit sick. But now, Lalush does have these queens out on the field, which is going to allow them to spawn larvae, spread creep, and everything you see is actually starting to really work on spreading that creep. You could go ahead and spread this once more if you want to. You actually might want to get this gold, though it is so wide open. Siege tanks can even siege it probably from back here as well and hit the mineral line, which is very bad for him. It would definitely allow for a positional advantage from Braddock if Braddock can get up close. A slow push from him in this game could be deadly, especially if this gold is being taken by Lalush. It's just a matter of how greedy Lalush is feeling and if he feels the risk is actually going to be worth it. Alright, so Braddock is continuing to have all of these SCVs mining. It's not really anything crazy. You can see the income. He does have very few harvesters compared to Lalush. Lalush actually is almost twice the amount of drones to SCVs, which is great for him. You can see he's ahead in the income, which is awesome. Especially considering mules, in fact, that Braddock does have double overcommands. But really, it's not even 10 minutes into the game. And to have 50 harvesters, that is a really big deal. Braddock is just now starting to get up his infrastructure. We could be seeing a really good move by Lalush if he doesn't want to go ahead and engage. You'll notice that Hive Tech has now finished, and Lair Tech is now finished, and you just need to get Glial Reconstitution, and as well as an Infestation Pit that was a very key thing. Let's see what else is actually in this game. Best Rotterdam, ESC, Delphi, the Muslims, and yeah, so cool. It's cool to see all those guys. I'm assuming it takes Sen to Sen unless it's somebody else. I honestly do not know. But now, Lalush is being really good with his spawn larva. You can see 3 energy in his queen right now, which is great. What's his natural expansion queen? Is that same exact thing. Now it's at 6 energy. So really great spawn larva timings from Lalush. That's just something to note. We're seeing a macro hatch being thrown down, not at the base. This should make it a much safer hatchery exposed to the the drone being killed by this marine that's sitting out here, which actually already has 2 kills. So poor Zerglings or drones, whatever they were most likely, they're most likely just going to be Zerglings. So that marine has got a couple kills under his belt, which is great for him. But Lalush, not so much. Who is actually choosing to get the gold? So Lalush is choosing to go for the greedy gold. We'll have to see if this pays off or not. The slow push of Braddock could really take advantage of that. Now, Braddock is continuing to actually get up his siege tanks in good positions. Covering these back rocks with that siege mode is going to be great. And we do see the reactors on 2 barracks. The Marines do have Simpack, and look at this tech lab, it's researching combat shield, which is very good. Braddock is definitely seems to be doing something very similar to the last couple of games that he's done, and we'll see how well it actually pays off for him. You see, he's also doing the same thing with researching the weapons upgrades for his infantry and his bio units, which is going to be so much DPS, because he's not even focusing at all about the army count. He's just trying to do as much damage as he can as fast as he can. Lalush, on the other hand, is going Roach Baneling. Interesting combination. We'll see if it does end up paying off. He is researching centrifugal hosts right now, but he could be going for some form of buff. He does have a 25 or so food lead count over Braddock, and I'm curious to see if it's actually going to pay off. He does have the watchtower. Can see if Braddock decides to move out. Not to mention the fact that he has he has his Zergling at the gold, which is going to do a great job for scouting. You'll see that the 3rd base for him has now finished. Spawn crawlers up in the front, and all you do is just see a few drones come out, and this will be a very effective expansion for Lalush. He's going to go ahead and start killing off that marine that was trying to scout off, so no more vision from Braddock in that respect. And that marine gets already picked off as well, and Braddock with a Thor in the mix against Possum is very good move. And yep, that is just not going to work. Scanning for burrowed banelings, which baneling bombs are so hard to deal with if you don't scout them, and we are seeing Braddock initiate his slow push out of his base. Alright, so now we're seeing some attacking happening against that Overlord that was in such a good scouting position. It's so sad to see it go, but great awareness by Braddock to realize that Overlord could be up there and then dealing with it accordingly. So Lalush's banelings are in the mix, and we're going to go ahead and see if this is actually really going to be able to be an effective move or not. Now, you can see that there are no upgrades for those. Roaches don't have any upgrades either, but centrifugal hooks have been successfully upgraded, and that is really, really what matters. No burrows or no possibility of baneling bombs or anything, which is sad for Lalush, but definitely beneficial for BratOK. So now we're seeing the creeping up of the siege tanks. Oh, BratOK is doing such a crazy slow push. He has a command center actually done, so he's going to be able to actually land this and get a planetary fortress. The second that he really wants to. Will he actually land it? Yes, he will. So excuse me for 1 second. Okay, so my throat's starting to feel a little bit better. Hopefully we're not going to have any more issues with that. So now BratOK's actually choosing to morph an orbital command instead of a planetary fortress here at the gold. So he's feeling greedy and safe at the exact same time. And it looks like Lalush wants to do a little bit of a break in the front. I don't know how well this is going to work as we're seeing, oh, the banelings are good. They're now hitting the bunkers and streaming through the siege tanks. And the Thor has gone down. And he's continuing to push. And good fungal growth on all those Marines is going to end up killing them off fairly efficiently. And looking at this, oh my god, Lalush is doing so much damage. BratOK is really getting punished for being greedy and not getting a planetary fortress. This could have been so much different if a planetary fortress had actually been in the mix. So Lalush is pushing incredibly effectively. We're seeing all these links coming in here. We see not enough for fungal growth. This would be great for fungal growth. But we're seeing the SCV count dwindle. Oh god, it's dwindling so badly. And then we're seeing that a couple units go down, but still, the end of the battle, 112 food count for Lalush and 59 for BratOK. It's horrible for BratOK. 35 SCVs are still in the field, though, so it's definitely better than BratOK could have hoped to have at the moment, as that was a very good push for him. Not to mention the fact that his orbital command actually did a lot of tanking for that, which you mentioned that 1,000 damage had been distributed between the units of BratOK, he would have nothing left that would have been gained. So in some respects, orbital command did pay off, though it would have been much different if it had actually been the planetary fortress. And you'll see that this is actually pushing BratOK back to staying back onto 2 bases. He does have the extra orbital command. He's just repairing that now since more mules and SCVs he made, but still, that is bad. Lalush is now using this opportunity to get up his 4th base. You can see his gold is actually running fairly well with the geysers, most importantly, as ZVT does revolve a lot around having gas. Alright, so now we're seeing that the income is definitely in favor of Lalush to a very high degree, but with 64 drones on the field, he is going to have, you can actually, I was expecting to have more at this point, but it seems that he's focusing more on the attacking armies, so his food count is basically mostly armies. He's got 20 times 20, so he has 130 to 87, with that differential all being army, because Lalush does have 151 food at the moment. So this is great to see from these guys. Now, watching through what these guys are doing, you can see that Lalush is even now getting up a 5th very, very nice. So he is definitely stabilizing to a very high degree. I'm excited to see this happening now. Lalush, roaches are there as you have upgrades. It doesn't seem like still no upgrades on his units. Infestors are upgraded, but we'll see that he's actually just getting vengeful sacks. Seems like he's preparing to do a drop. His overlords do have speed upgraded, so they can definitely actually drop without doing a slow drop. It's just kind of funny, it's comedic to see. But BratOK is now going to go ahead and get up a missile turret. He actually has no vision of that overlord over there that is just pooping onto this high ground. So we're moving in and actually looks. Oh, Lalush wants to do another attack. You could be go ahead doing a lot of the July Zerg type of Sauron Zerg that was used a lot in Brood War from him, where it's just stream units, and really that wasn't always effective. July Zerg had lost games a couple times because of the fact that he just reinforced too inefficiently, as opposed to getting a critical mass and pushing in, then massing him again and pushing in, and massing and pushing in. It was just a single file line of units just going in, which allowed the opponent to just sort of slowly creep up their army, and then just have more and more and more. But really, more important than all that is that what Lalush is actually doing is getting up another gold. He is just taking advantage of these golds. It is a 4-verse map that is has that rotational symmetry and everything, which means gold base, and gold base, and gold base. So that's great. So we are seeing a lot of gold bases. Two of them do end up being in command for Lalush. That'd be great for him. And you'll notice that Marauders are starting to be put into the mix for BratOK because of the fact that there are all of these roaches. This roach, such as the Baneling mix, is proving to be very, very effective with Lings as well. Not mentioning the Infestors do all the fungal growth and neuroparasites you could ever wish, but no neuroparasites quite yet. But looking at BratOK's upgrades, he's got +3 weapons on the way for both of his both the siege tanks and his infantry, which is just so strong. It's kind of obscene. So we're going to see a couple overlords go down. This one's somehow still alive. Wow, BratOK, he can even see it too. Those overlords do fall. Creep is looking to be half decent, but Lalush is going for an attack down here in the main base with a very large drop. A single missile turret here might take out a single one of these overlords, but it does drop all of its guys before it does fall. And so now Lalush is definitely doing a great job of force BratOK's army to run back, or never mind, so force BratOK's army to run forward, and BratOK clipping this gold. This new gold that just popped is actually going to be falling to those siege tanks. So back here, we're seeing Lalush doing a great job of attacking the main base. He's attacking all the add-ons and infrastructure. This is a great move for him. He's even pooped down some creep to increase the mobility of his army inside the main, and now these Marauders are going down to the Lings with roaches attacking in the background. BratOK is continuing to press though, and actually attacking this base of Lalush. His 4th base seems to go down, and we're seeing now that the rocks have been broken down, as someone in the replay actually pinged this again. But this is a great move. It looks like the SCVs are very going to go down, if not his command center as well, back in the main base, so everything is falling from BratOK. Just not even building any more units. So he's just sacrificing his main base. He's got this base down here that Lalush is perfectly aware of. But BratOK looks like he actually is going to continue pressing an attack, or is he just going to go ahead and just set siege tanks on the cliffs? This is why Lost Temple was hated by Zerg, and now BratOK is using it on iCCup Neo Enigma. Looks like we're seeing a lot of great fungal growthing happening. One more fungal growth on all that bunch of people, and they're going to go down. Instead, though, Lalush is going to go ahead. There it is. Great fungal growth. The Marines do go down. Marauders still have a little bit of health left, though, but they do take the extra damage from that fungal growth. They do seem to be falling, though, quite efficiently. Not to mention this hatchery is guaranteed to fall at this point. BratOK has been so good with his siege tanks on the cliffs, positioning excellently. And now we're seeing foam growth being used on these metavats as well. They're going to go ahead and fall. And great, actually, Baneling bomb. Just drop a unit or two and kill a Baneling is just always a good choice. Marines for a Baneling is definitely a choice that BratOK would do in terms of the fact that there's no reason not to in that scenario. So now we're seeing all these Lings running around. Looks like burning out command center is actually going to be saved by BratOK. So he's just sacrificing his main. You can see that all commands are lifted. All these supply depots are going down. So right now, BratOK's in a really interesting position. 45 food to 139 of Lalush, but he's going to hold strong. Planetary Force has actually been completed now. There's going to be no more repairing. Oh, nope, 2 SUs are going to go in and that's still a death for these 3 roaches. Not to mention the fact that he targeted in the middle one is able to splash damage all the others. So now Lalush, he doesn't have enough to fungal growth. He could have actually fungal growth those SCVs and sent it off with the with the Roach, but that does not seem to be his choice of unit decisions that he can make. Alright, so I definitely want to see a fungal growth on this medevac. That would be great. If you can take it out with 2 siege tanks inside of it, that would be a huge plus for Lalush. He's already looking fairly solid, but Braddock is starting to expand again. You see he has no more main. Supply depots are going down. There's even still an SCV in there. Braddock actually has that SCV idle, where he's actually getting attacked down here with an infested Terran. So that's definitely a good bit of harassment. We are seeing more production facilities down here for Brad. So his gold base has now become his main base as he's trying to rebuild his infrastructure with 3 factories. He could be, he's transitioning into mech. Very, very nice from Braddock, which is, I hope it's going to actually pay off. Looks like down here we're supposed to be seeing something else. We already know this base has been up, but it's just strictly mined by mules and 1 SUV, which is something of note. But Braddock has no more supply depots out. It's 60 out of 60 food for him, and 139 out of 200 for Lalush. He could really just do a little bit of harassment. Looks like he's going to go ahead and do a little bit of Roach Infester harassment down here. If he could fungal growth, and use the Roach, just pick him off a little bit, or just take out these supply depots, that would be huge. Braddock is in a very, very rough position right now, and it looks like, Lalush is going to go ahead and start cliffing these guys. Not very many SUVs are on the field, though, so a couple fungal growths would be fun, but not exactly the most effective things ever. There it is, getting a good solid 5. It's going to get 1 more, yes, so those are guaranteed to go down. And this infested swarm egg is going to pop infested Terrans and start hitting these, those SUVs are now starting to take hits. Looks like we're seeing another drop down here, but that doesn't seem like it's going to actually work, as Braddock somehow saw it. But you have a huge attack coming in here to this third, I guess it's now a third, but looks like Braddock's going to go ahead and be forced to lift off, and he might be trying to land it here where the Lush already has a base up. So we're seeing some more infested Terran shenanigans, but that's not going to benefit at all, as Braddock has now lifted off some units, and he'll go ahead and take them out quite easily. This is very strong Marauders and Marines, and that they do have the +3 attack upgrade, and that did finish is huge, so much DPS. Same thing happened with those tanks. Looks like Brad's going to go ahead and find out that this base is not going to be takeable. Lalush is finally trying to upgrade his own +1/+1 melee, and if you look at his Roaches, they have just a +0/+1, so their carrier base upgrade is up. Bailey bombs are actually in the mix as well for this, and the infested count is very large, very nice, good fungal growth, and end up actually killing off a lot of those units. So very effective on the fungal growth thing, but it's actually this Marauders is barely going to survive. Luckily being healed by the medevac continuously is also being repaired by this SUV. That is a lucky medevac and a lucky Marauder. So we're seeing Braddock went for a huge attack. Might actually end up sniping off this. Yep, he does snipe off that hatchery. Just in time. So Lalush is now down a base than it was before, and it looks like Balin is actually just staring at his Orbital Command Center. So that's kind of a weird situation to see that. Alright, anyway. That aside, Lalush is going to go ahead and take his 3rd gold base of the day. We'll see if he's actually able to utilize this, as he's only actually been able to mine from one of the gold bases, which still has mineral patches on the field with a fair bit. Looks like he just mined 2/3 between all of those. Now Lalush has all of these infested Terran that are not doing anything. He's in a very good spot, 178 out of 200. Now it's actually just went up to max. Down away from max. 193 food now. Getting just shelled by this single siege tank, taking a lot of hits on those infestors. But Queen is in the mix as well. Could just go ahead and transfuse, as it's kind of off creep and very immobile. Lalush is continuing distance line over here, and a single Marine is going to go ahead and try and get a few hits on this, but with the 9 damage, it could actually take out a few drones. We're seeing a little bit of an engagement down here. Fungal growthing is going to be huge, yes. Fungal growthing. Infested Terrans are going to come in, Lizard going to tank a few hits, and there it is. Infested Terran targeting down the medevacs. Say goodbye to those Marauders, although no, that one's actually going to survive. Roaches are now down here, going to run away, and this Infestor's got max energy. That's a lot of fungal growth that he can do. And these mules are not being used. That is rather unfortunate. Looks like Braddock is going to run in and use a Marauder or something to try and take out these units. Alright, so looking at this, Lalush actually has his gold done. And this is mining over here. Instead of just right-clicking on these guys into the gold and get that income, which would be so much better. So Lalush is unable to actually save that full energy fungal growthable I guess fungal growthable is not a word, but fungal growthable infestor. Okay, so now Lalush is continuing this mine here. It's actually getting shelled by all these sea tanks. So Lalush is allowing BratOK to actually come back. BratOK's been playing great, and it looks like Lalush, hesitating, allowing himself to take a few hits. Where the fungal grows from all of those infestors, actually using it to spawn a bunch of infested Terran, and he is just rolling through BratOK right now, but BratOK is doing a ton of damage. Infested Terran is in mass. Oh my god, there's a solid 30 of them, if not more than that, running around, doing a good job of actually hitting the orbital command, and gonna possibly, nope, they're not gonna take down that siege tank. That's unfortunate. Infested Terran are light, they do not take any extra damage from the siege tanks that damage armored people more. But I'll say BratOK's gonna be prepared to start, oh god, again abusing this high ground. It's so beneficial for BratOK, and it's horrible for Lush to have to deal with. He's being thwarted away by his units. It's definitely unfortunate. This orbital command is not burning down, unfortunately, but these SCVs are just sacrificing their life. Yep, that one has now gone down as well. So Lalush definitely has more than double, and there is the infested Terran popping on top of that siege tank. Link's gonna run in. There we go. There we go. That has gone down. We're seeing all these infested Terran around. This is great infestors coming out of Lalush, which is doing a good job of keeping BratOK away from being able to expand. But BratOK still has this base down here. You can see his income is actually ahead in terms of minerals as opposed to Lalush. And this orbital command is now going to actually he's going to go to this base. Yes, he will go to this natural as opposed to this main. If you had this main down and had all those 8 mil patches, that would be great. But it says he use the 8 mil patches from the natural expansion. Alright, so looks like Lalush actually spread a little bit of creep down here with some creep tumors. This queen is doing a good job to that. Links are still down here, making sure BratOK doesn't re-expand to his natural expansion. Now, this base has lost a lot of workers. Looks like there's an infested Terran and fungal growth thing craziness that happened. You can see 14 kills, 9 kills. Oh my god, this infested a Ravager. That is ridiculously awesome. So BratOK is being contained to one base. He has another open command. He actually has, 2, 3 command centers, or what their, I guess, not ancestors, what their descendants are with the planetary fortresses or orbital commands. 4 actually with this one down here as well. So there's a huge command center count for BratOK, but you just got to be able to use it more. So we're seeing a lot of engagements down here, and a great Muta switch from Lalush. That is a very smart choice. There are still a few Marauders on the field, and these Mutas just lost one of their friends. But still, fungal growth on all those Marines can help them a lot. It looks like Lalush has been doing a great job of using the splash damage, attacking the barracks and other units, which should then hit the Marines, but always running straight into a missile turret. He's actually lost one Muta to it and barely manages to not lose this one just by luck of the draw, as well as this one as well. 10 and 3 health. That is weak. Very weak. So Lalush is continuing to really put a lot of pressure on BratOK, who's now down at 31 food. This Muta switch, is too much for BratOK. He cannot deal with it, and BratOK GG. So it's now going to be 2-1. Lalush does manage to take back this game in a really cool series. So thanks for watching. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game at some point. I don't know when I'll be able to cast it, but yes, it is now 2-1 in this best of 5. So thank you guys very much for watching. Nice games happen soon.